Welcome, this guide is about COC Blood Mage. The build uses cast on critical gem to trigger powerful spells, arcs in our case, 4 of them. Arc has a very high damage that can easily be scaled up alongside gem level. We'll also increase the overall damage by specializing in critical damage bonus, since we already need a very high crit chance anyway. And because of that, we won't even need many support gems for arcs to make them good. To reach high crit chance and damage, select Blood Mage with Gore Spike and Sunder the Flesh. Blood Mage's other passives that we're about to pick will also prove themselves immensely useful. Sanguimancy and Vitality siphon for Life Leech from spells, combined with Atziri Acuity, which makes Life Leech from critical hits instantaneous, will result in your life pool always recharging at a rapid pace. Life, however, is not your defensive layer, just a resource to cast a lot of spells very fast. Resource recovery would normally be one of the biggest hurdles in builds of that type, but with no mana, thanks to Blood Magic Keystone, you're free to cast as much as you like. It all stems from high critical strike chance, so be sure you have that covered. By hitting critically, you gain energy, so you need a high hit rate. The spark with a high cast speed combined with the Orb of Storms will be fundamental in this endeavor, but to accelerate energy gain, equip the Choir of Storms amulet, which triggers lightning bolts on critical strike. The durability at first glance is merely bearable. It relies mostly on high energy shield, recovered with a life flask. After allocating Eternal Youth Keystone, you will also be able to electrocute enemies, but the amusingly high damage remains your best defensive layer. Clear speed is good. A lot of spells are triggered with Spark, one of the very few skills you cast yourself. Boss damage is high, but it's heavily tied to your budget, mostly wand and jewels. The build is slightly expensive, but not overly so. Pay attention to the prices of uniques, wand, focus, and jewels. Scepter and Alpha's Howl will allow you to host even 3 COC setups. Atziri's Acuity Gloves are great, make room for them. Choir of the Storm is mandatory, it generates a lot of energy and grants damage. Seed of Cataclysm should be included too, as is the best ring in terms of damage. Extra fire damage is what will make Sacred Flame a good offhand, at least until you find a better rare focus to fill its boots. Alpha's Howl has a lot of additional spirit, which will allow you to host another COC setup, increasing your damage. A lot of cold resistance too. Blood Magic Keystone is in a very bad spot on a skill tree. It's a huge waste of skill points to go there. Mask of the Sanguimancer Helmet, among other useful stats, grants you blood magic just like that. Atziri's Acuity is an obligatory item. Instant Leech with Intelligence and a bit of crit chance are great. Replenishes your life very fast as long as your spells are hitting. Choir of the Storm is another core unique item. It releases lightning bolts on critical hit, which should be every hit and causes these to ignore lightning resistance. Crit chance and crit damage are both extremely valuable here, making Seed of Cataclysm rings an obvious choice. It even has some chaos resistance. Life is easy to replenish and spend, so you will see it constantly fluctuate, but ES should stay high at all times. It can be found on most items. Damage is found on a weapon, focus, and jewels. The most important are critical hit chance until it's 100%, critical bonus damage, a gem level for lightning spells, lightning spell damage, and of course cast speed. Spirit, you need it to host COCs and 2 minions. There are tons of modifiers you may find useful on a wand, but the most important will be gem level to lightning spells, extra damage, increased damage, and critical hit chance or critical bonus damage. Focus is another source of damage, level to spell skills and critical hit mods. If you want something sturdier, look for high maximum energy shield and resistances. Boots, here you shall focus on movement speed and resistances. Other mods are much less valuable. You will probably need a rare ring to patch up the missing resistances and attributes. If that's not necessary, go for a second Seed of Cataclysm. Not many exotic mods to look for on a belt, but it may be a very potent source of resistances, maximum life, and strength. Maybe a Life Flask or Charm mods too. The body armor must have a high maximum energy shield and some resistances. Spirit or life regeneration are good, but maybe not needed at all. Sapphires might roll critical hit related modifiers and increase your energy shield. Aim for these. Spark is the spell used to trigger lightning bolt and hit critically. It's not supposed to deal significant damage, just hit enemies with a high frequency. Link it with Arcane Tempo, Inspiration, Mobility, Acceleration, and Fork. Lightning Bolt, triggered on critical hit, deals high lightning damage and grants energy. It comes from Choir of the Storm. Link it with Concentrated Effect, considered casting, Spell, Echo, and Ingenuity. Orb of Storms, place it down and cast Spark in its vicinity to electrocute tough enemies. Link it with Electrocute, Neural Overload, Magnified Effect, Overabundance, and Font of Blood if you can spare a 5th socket. Life Remnants is a skill you get from Sanguimancy. It creates remnants to be picked up to regain life. Link it with Dissipate, Magnetism, and Interlude. The last one is optional, since these 3 seconds of delay may be too much. Cast on critical. Linked spells are cast on critical hit once enough energy is accumulated. 2 arcs will deal a lot of damage due to the frequency in which they're triggered and their high gem level. We've used 4 arcs in total, but you may replace 1 or 2 of them with more utility-oriented spells like Spark or Orb of Storms, Socket Impetus, Energy Retention, and Fluke in the same setup. With enough spirit, you can afford a second COC setup. Again, add 2 arcs or other such spells and link them with more damage-oriented support gems like Elemental Focus, Deliberation, and Lightning Mastery. Skeletal Cleric's only role is to be offered in Soul Offering. Link them with Last Gasp and Meat Shield so that they will last a bit longer. Soul Offering sacrifices one of your minions for 80% increased spell damage. Link it with Dance, Macabre, Persistence, Ablation, and Minion Mastery. It now sacrifices 2 minions and 15% of your maximum life, but the effect of it is improved. Place the Sigil of Power on the ground and stand on it to get 15% more spell damage. It comes from Chiming Staff, which you can swap to. Link with Unbreakable for more stun threshold while using Sigil of Power. In the Valley, go for the Charm charges, obviously, since you have no use for a Mana Flask whatsoever. Maybe during leveling, but change it later in such a case. In the Venom Crypts, pick 25% increased stun threshold. Increased elemental ailment threshold is comparable, but with Stifled, Freeze, and Shock with Charms. In the second crypt, you may either go for Attributes or Chaos Resistance. Chaos Resistance seems like a safer bet as the build doesn't struggle with attributes very much. The passive skill tree requires you to pick up Eternal Youth and Blood Magic Keystones. The second one is not required if you wear the Mask of the Sanguimancer. Other than that, prioritize critical related nodes for spells. There are plenty of them in the upper right part of the skill tree. Elemental damage, lightning damage, energy shield, and energy for COC is what you will spend the remaining points on. We need no second tree. We believe that is all there is to it. Remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.